Welcome. I have been having some Zoom technical issues and I was appearing several times, which caused me to ask this question, which one of these is me? And I'm going to jump off from that in our time together today because when I asked that question in a very practical application, it really caused me to realize that that's one of the reasons why I drop into these practices so that I can, and in community, pause in order to drop in to that deeper sense of who we are, what's happening here, what's happening in here, what's happening out here, and how we can offer ourselves from that place to ourselves, to our lives, to all the beings that we encounter in a world that I imagine for all of us, anyone who's tuning into this, as it is for me, is a world where there is a lot that troubles me. Um, that I'm carrying from my conditioning, my family lineage, and that I'm encountering within the immediacy of my personal life, and that I am struggling with and trying to respond to in a good way in what's happening in the world. So, with that as our leaping off point, I invite you to pull yourself from what you've been engaged in and all of the different aspects of yourself and parts of yourself that are relative to and kind of come online and presence in those different contexts and circumstances. And just for a moment, let's begin by taking that conscious transition from whatever it is and acknowledging for a moment, like if you were just in your work life or just in your family life or whatever, like acknowledging what that role asks of you and how that is a specific way that you presence and lens, and kind of acknowledging that part of you and then stepping outside of that and opening up to being in the wholeness of who you are for the next 15 minutes or so. And then we'll re-enter right from that stream back into whatever is next, whether it's that same part of your life or a different one. So, with that in mind, just take a moment, and if there's a space, if you were like visually in a place where you're in that, just look at it. Look at, okay, what are the implements of that part of me? You know, if it's your computer, if it's your kitchen, if it's a laundry machine, if it's an office space, or wherever it was, or maybe you're engaging this on vacation, right? Vacation me, like, and look at those things. Ah, these are the things that I engage with that part of myself, and then kind of draw back from that, acknowledging that in that physical material way, and then just let your eyes close. And as you do, just notice the physical position that you're in without changing anything. Notice how your hands are placed or the position that they're in. Notice whether you're seated or standing or lying. Make any conscious choice to change your position in any way. I'm just inviting you to make any adjustments in this moment to just make yourself a little more comfortable, a little more at ease. Maybe it's opening a joint, maybe it's closing a joint, maybe it's lengthening, widening, settling, and just make any adjustments that you can, both in your body and in your energy and in your attention, to just bring yourself a little more present to this moment and to this intention for being here. And just feel yourself kind of taking another step back internally from whatever version of you were just engaging, whatever role, whatever hat you wear. We use that expression, at least in the US and places I'm from, right? To put on different hats. Just taking that hat and really setting it down. And then just take a breath. And as you breathe, let the breath grow a little longer, a little deeper, a little fuller. Until you get to the fullest point on your next inhale. And just notice where that fullness went in your body, where the expansion was called in your body. For me, it was sort of my low back, my pelvic, my tip of my pelvis and tailbone area. Maybe for you, it was somewhere else. And then with the next few breaths, just breathing right into that place, whatever place you notice your breath was first drawn to. We'll take 3 breaths in that place. So sending it there with more awareness and presence. And just noticing as you take these deep breaths, sending your breath, sending that space in to fill and open and nourish that area. And then on the exhales, just notice what happens as you release your breath. Taking one more breath, sending it right to that area that called for it first. And just noticing the effect of this breath moving there. And then once you've released that exhale fully, just bring your awareness and attention to the wholeness of you. Not focusing so much on where your breath is going or the deepening of your breath, just letting your body breathe naturally now. And just noticing your physical state. Noticing what you notice in your self, in your bones, in your tissues, in your tendons, your skin. We'll do the same thing again, just now deepening our breath and just letting the breath go to another area of your body. You can direct it if that feels like what feels right, or just not direct it, but notice it. And then just breathe into the fullness of that calling, body calling for space in a particular area, for breath, for expanse, for attention, for care. Taking 3 breaths now and just sending 3 full breaths to whatever area of your body that you've either felt called to direct your breath to open, expand, bring care, or to whatever area your body called your breath to. So it can go either way. And as you breathe those 3 breaths, just tune into what you experience there and invite an awareness of the more subtle layers of experience. So breathing into the same area with 3 full breaths and just noticing with each breath the subtle differences of how this area of your body is impacted by this breath, this expansion, this opening, this care. And once you've completed those 3 breaths on the release of that third exhale, just stop breathing with effort or direction and just let your body breathe naturally again. And then just notice what you notice. Now, I want you to invite to your mind's eye a version of you, an expression of you, you in a particular hat in your life. Maybe it's the hat of partner or parent or child or grandparent or grandchild or manager or leader or peer or member of the team that you're on in some way, or gardener or exerciser or whatever it is. We all like, there's so many facets that we step into and out of, expressions of who we are. So just let one come to mind that needs care, that you're like, this me in this role right now is feeling a little taxed, feeling a little overwhelmed, underappreciated or confused or concerned or, whatever it is. And just bring that, you in that role, you as that part of you or expression of you to your mind's eye. And kind of see yourself in that space. You can imagine right now that you are standing or sitting or however you are most generally relate to being in that role. Just building it out in your mind's eye in this moment. You're there, you're in that role, you're wearing that hat, you're in that costume or clothing, you're with those people, you're doing that thing. And just like we did with the body, let's take 5 breaths with this one and just breathing into yourself in that setting, in that role, in that hat, that version of you. And with your inhale, just creating space, openness, expansion, and care, whatever that version of you needs. You may know it like literally, there may be a clarity around what you need, but there may not. But the breath knows, your attention knows, your greater awareness knows. So trust that. Now just be quiet now and just we'll together take those 5 breaths, just bringing a breath of care and awareness of care to that you. And just taking, once you've completed this next breath, we're going to take two more and just really bring what's needed through your breath without trying to change, without trying to fix, without trying to make yourself different in any way, but just bringing what's needed and opening to what that quality of care, quality of presence can shift, can open, can allow. And just imagining yourself in whatever place, space, with whatever people, and breathing into that openness, that possibility. And as you exhale, just letting whatever care you need in that space to settle into your heart, to your guts, into your bones, into your mind. And now, just seeing yourself there, taking a little moment to acknowledge and honor that you fill that role, that you step up and you bring yourself to that part of your life, whatever it asks of you, whatever ways it challenges you, and what other ways it fulfills you, and all the things. And just bowing to yourself in that role. And then drawing yourself out of that space, taking that hat off. And coming back to this place of your wholeness, this place of you beyond all the roles. And we'll just take one more deep inhale, bringing yourself back to this place, letting that nourishment of the breath fill your whole being, your cells, your tissues, your bones. And as you exhale, just feel your feet, feel whatever part of you is connected to the earth, feel that sense of ground of your being. As you inhale, let your arms come up and around your body. Bring your hands together in Anjali Mudra over your head, drawing them down, placing your thumbs at your third eye center, between your brow and your forehead. May this practice support you to care for yourself in all the roles that you are, and to remember that deep ground of your being that is beyond all of those roles. Take a deep inhale. Down, cross your nose to your lips, place your thumbs on your lips, and just take a breath here. May this practice support you, to support me, to support us, to speak to ourselves internally and externally in ways that bring a greater kind of sense of, or from whatever role we're in, that's from that deeper place and that brings the care that we need in the way we're dialoguing inside of ourselves and the way we're speaking about ourselves in the various roles that we play. Take a deep inhale. And trace down your chin and your throat and your sternum down into your heart. And press your thumbs into your sternum and just find your heartbeat. And just bow to your heart. May this practice support us to honor the mystery of our deep and true nature, and to nourish our all of ourselves from that place. When you feel complete, you can just gently open your eyes and come back. Look around, what's around you, and just notice if there's any shifts in the way you feel in this moment to how you felt when you stepped into this moment. And I hope to see you soon. I hope to drop in deeper with you. There's lots of interesting things happening in my world. So check them out at Evolving Mindfully, and be in touch.